So I get asked a lot how a mediator helps parties resolve a dispute. And this is awesome. I just love this question because mediation is such a beautiful process. Now, keep in mind that a mediator is neutral. The mediator is not taking sides in the dispute. The mediator is just helping the parties. And a mediator has no decision-making authority. The parties remain in complete control of the outcome. They decide whether they're going to resolve the dispute, and whatever the outcome is going to be is whatever the parties can agree on. So how does a mediator help through this process? Well, I want to focus on 7 ways that I think are ways that really set apart an excellent mediator from the rest, but the ways that that mediator helps the parties. So number 1 is by helping the parties process the emotional side of the dispute. So we've all been involved in disputes, and we all know that emotions get heated, or we get frustrated, or we feel stuck, and somebody might feel like they were offended or hurt or injured, and somebody might feel like they're angry and frustrated and accused. Whatever the case may be, the mediator is going to help the parties process that. And how does the mediator do it? Well, first, the mediator is going to make sure the parties feel heard and understood by being a great listener and listening to the parties share their side of the story or share their side of the dispute, whatever is important to them. Now, once the parties share that and they feel heard and they can process those emotions, now the excellent mediator is going to move the parties out of that emotional venting state and move them into a frame of mind where now they're using their best decision-making abilities to make the best decision for themselves that they can. And that's the number 1 way. So number 2 is bringing excellent communication skills to the table. So we all know that in a dispute, there's more likely than not been some breakdown in communication at some point. And so the mediator is going to bring communication skills to the table, whether that's transmitting messages to one party or the other on behalf of the other party, or helping that party formulate how to communicate their message in a way that it's going to be well received by the other side. So those excellent communication skills are really critical. Number 3. Now this is my own personal philosophy, but I believe a mediator can help by helping the parties identify their true best interests. Now when parties come to a dispute, they're often coming with positions. So they've got a position could be you're 100% at fault and no, I'm not at fault. Or you owe me this much money, no, I don't owe you any money. Whatever the case may be, the mediator can help the parties by going underneath their positions and saying, what are your true interests here? And their interests could be anything. And I believe very strongly that it's not my job to ever tell parties what their interests and values should be. I want to hear from the parties what their interests and values are. So it might be that a party really values peace and that the litigation and the fighting is just stressing them out and they don't want to be stressed out anymore. Or it might be that a party just really values taking ownership over the dispute and remaining in control over the outcome, and they really don't like the uncertainty and giving up control to another party, whether that's a judge or a jury. They want to decide the outcome themselves and to remain in control of what the outcome's going to be. So if that's the case, then mediation can be a great way to facilitate that. Or maybe it really just comes down to dollars and cents. And maybe the parties are saying, it just does not make financial sense for us to spend all the time and all the money to go through litigation, through the court system, or some other process. And they say it really makes more financial sense for us just to get the dispute resolved now. And so mediation can facilitate that. Number 4 would be negotiation and creativity. So once the parties have identified their interests, now the mediator can help the parties negotiate through negotiation skills what the outcome is going to be and help them get there, right? And then creativity, because we've all seen those disputes, those negotiations that are this close to settling, and yet the mediator is able to bring the creativity to find the creative solution that bridges the gap that wouldn't have otherwise been bridged. So that would be number 4. Number 5 would be the reality check. Because the mediator has demonstrated that they understand the dispute, and the mediator is an outside neutral, the mediator can really give the parties a reality check about some things that they might be overlooking. And especially after a dispute has been going on for a long time, the parties can get into a place where they feel like they only see their side and they just cannot see the other side's perspective. So the mediator can come and in confidence share with them, hey, you know that thing that you're kind of glossing over, that you're not paying a lot of attention to? That might be a bigger deal than you think it is. It might be a bigger risk for you, and you might want to take that into account when you decide whether or not you're going to resolve this dispute. Number 6 would be the outside confidant. Because the mediator has built trust and rapport and is able to speak with the other party in confidence, let's face it, there are often things that the other side would never in 1,000 years share with you or share with the other side. And they'll share it with the mediator because they can do so in confidence with somebody who they trust. And that might be the special bit of information that the mediator needed to help the parties negotiate and find that solution that works for them. Number 7 would be the mediator sets the tone. Through this whole process, the mediator can be calm, cool, and collected and help the parties remain calm, cool, and collected through the whole process, focusing on the future, focus on progress, keep moving forward, and keep working toward that resolution with patience. And the mediator can set the tone that way. So you can see how this set of skills is a way that a mediator can really bring all this together and facilitate the resolution so that the parties don't have to keep spending the money. They don't have to go through the stress of litigation. They don't have to keep investing all their time. They can resolve the dispute and they can move on with their life and focus on what really matters to them, whether that's their family, their work, their business, whatever the case may be. So I hope this information was helpful. I would love to hear from you in the comments or send me a message. I look forward to seeing you there, and take care.